So you guys want to get into it? Mel Kiper's mock draft 4.0.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love this. I mean, listen, Fish and I were talking before the show. He does not really give a shit about the draft. I absolutely love the draft.
I want to, but I just feel like on the draft day, you look at the analyst board, you look at the actual draft board, it's like, okay, this guy went here, this guy went here, this is no flip-flop.
Yeah, but that doesn't always happen. Like, to me, I don't think you've ever really watched a draft.
I have not.
Well, there you go.
Man.
Well, there you go.
You don't watch the draft ever? You've never?
I mean, I'll put it on for like a few seconds, and then I'll get bored, and I'll find a baseball game or a playoff basketball game.
I mean, I will say, after the
Or a
first few
playoff
picks,
hockey game.
this year is going to be different, obviously, because, I mean, everybody, I feel like, is so attached to at least probably the first 15 or so picks in this draft. But normal years, I feel you on that, Fish.
Yeah, but aside from, like, who your team's drafting, like, you're witnessing life-changing moment after life-changing moment. Like, literally every 7 to 10 minutes, you're noticing somebody getting their dream come true. Like, there's just so much more coolness to the draft.
Oh, yeah, at least as far as the first 2 rounds, I'm, like, invested. After that, it's kind of like I'll just, flip to see, hey, who did I miss getting picked and where and what?
Right, but that first round when those guys are all suited up, going to shake the
Getting their name
commissioners,
called.
mom's there crying, dad's there proud as hell, brother and sister are jealous as shit, girlfriend that knows you're going to leave her as soon as you make the league, sitting there all pouty.
And then also, it's very funny moments that come from the draft, like C.D. Lamb last year.
Right.
You seen that with the mom? And mom was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Pulling the girl's phone away,
Yeah,
like,
all
nope.
right.
Yeah, and then you get, the Aaron Rodgers moment. He's projected to be the number 6 overall pick and sitting there frumpy, and they
Like
have to
22.
they have to move him out of the draft area into his own green room because the camera from ESPN has been on him the whole time. Like, why isn't this dude getting drafted? So, yeah, there's so much to the draft, Fish. You really got to get involved in this, man. I want you to be excited for the draft.
All right, well, we'll see. Hopefully it happens.
All
Not
right,
sure.
well, let's get into the mock draft 4.0 for Mel Kiper. And it starts out the way every draft ever has come to our existence in this whole Trevor Lawrence era. Trevor Lawrence going number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And obviously, that's been the pick.
Yeah.
I don't think it's changing. Joey, did you ever really put money that he wasn't going to be the number 1 pick?
I'm going to. I just got
throw.
to find out how to do it.
That was a 60-yard throw on the dot, man.
Against a team named the Citadel.
Yeah, that's all right.
Huge accomplishment.
The throw, man. It doesn't matter who
Huge
you're playing. Look where
accomplishment.
look at that ball placement is. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
I could throw that ball.
You could throw that ball?
No, I can't.
Why do you hate
I
Trevor
can't.
Lawrence so
It's
much?
not that I hate him. It's just the dude's so overrated. I get it. The dude's achieved a
Hey,
lot in his
man.
career, but what have we seen in these last couple of years? The same thing over and over again.
Stop hating on Sunshine.
Yeah, don't hate
I
him.
know. I can't.
So Trevor Lawrence projected to go number 1 in Mel Kiper's 4.0, and I think we all just agree that that's kind of set in stone, right? The number 2 pick is what used to be a question, but now it's getting to that Trevor Lawrence status where Zach Wilson is the name that just keeps appearing and keeps appearing and keeps appearing right there at that number 2 spot for the Jets. Obviously, they traded away Sam Darnold. He is now in Carolina, going to be the starter there if he can beat out Teddy Bridgewater. They have Denzel Mims. They have a couple pieces on offense. They need a quarterback, though. And I don't see anybody else besides Zach Wilson going in that spot.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. You look at Robert Saleh. I mean, it's a good fit. I mean, everything that media's been talking about around Robert Saleh since the whole getting rid of their quarterback went down. I mean, it's a sure at this point.
Yeah. You don't get rid of your Sam Darnold and not have a plan.
Right.
Yeah, you got to go with Zach Wilson in this case. I mean, I disagree with it just in general because they should have never traded Sam Darnold. Felt they should have kept him and added some more pieces. But now that you went ahead and traded him to the Carolina, you got to go ahead and fill that hole. And you're a new coach. You want to start with your guy. And hey, Zach Wilson will be a good leader, hopefully, for the Jets moving forward.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just so crazy how these quarterbacks have just floated to the top of this draft.
Especially this next one.
Have you ever seen anything like this, though? I mean,
No, I've never seen this many quarterbacks get talked about like this, like out of nowhere.
right. I mean, 1, 2, 3 has happened like twice in NFL history. Quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, and when you go back and look at those draft classes, 2 of the 3 normally don't turn out well. Like I believe one was Tim Couch, and it's like, yeah, Tim Couch was a top 3 pick, but that's what's going to happen to one of these guys. And this is the guy that's most likely to wind up there. I mean, Adam and I had a huge debate about it last week when you weren't here, Corey. I don't know if you saw it. But this guy has also been just climbing and climbing and
For
climbing.
reasons I don't understand.
I'm excited, actually, because we haven't heard Corey's take on this next pick.
Yeah. So, number 3, the 49ers trade up to take Mac Jones. Oh, I should be playing my draft sounders and stuff like that, shouldn't I? There it is. Thank you, Fish. Number 3, Mac Jones to the San Francisco 49ers. And this is Mel Kiper's mock draft 4.0, and he is now having Mac Jones up there.
We don't need film on this guy. We've seen enough.
Well, I mean, actually, you want to see some of this because people are wondering why the hell Mac Jones is going up there. See, that's
because you got Jalen Waddle, you got Devonta Smith.
So you think it has more to do with the weapons that he had than actually how good he is?
Listen, I'm not going to say he's not a good quarterback. He's a nice pro-style quarterback. It's just I don't see enough that can translate into him being this high of a pick at number 3 in this NFL draft. That's the only thing I can't agree with.
I think Mac Jones has the potential, definitely, to be one of the better quarterbacks in the draft. Again, potential. Last year, 4,500 yards with Alabama, 41 touchdowns, the 4 interceptions. Completion rate was off the chart, like 77%. And then, in the national championship, Fields was suffering some injuries, but Mac Jones outdueled him, 464 yards, 5 TDs. So you can see why you would want to go with Mac Jones. I just think that you don't have to trade up that high to number 3 to grab him. I mean, if you want to go grab your guy, hey, more power to you, go get him. But I think that they could have, they didn't have to. At number 3, I wouldn't take Mac Jones. That's just my thing. At number 3.
The debate Adam and I were having was he believes Mac Jones is just pretty much Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. Do you feel that same way?
I don't know if he's Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0, but I definitely don't think he's going to be some transcendent quarterback in the league, because the league is moving more toward the quarterbacks who can do more. Mac Jones kind of reminds me of like a statue. He's kind of like a Ben Roethlisberger type. That type can be good, but as the league is progressing, I think I would have went in the direction of a more mobile quarterback, someone like a Justin Fields at that pick.
How fast do you think Mac Jones 40 was?
Probably about a 5.2.
It was a 4.7.
I was gonna say 4.7.
See,
But
but realistically, when you look 4.7, I mean, it's fast. Don't get me wrong, but it ain't like it's just from that 4.7 to that 4.4. It's such a big difference in speed.
It is, but when we're talking about a guy, like we kind of like bash on his athleticism and stuff. Dude is still running a 4.7. Like there's like running backs entering the draft this year that are 4.6, 4.7.
It's different though. You can have that speed when you're just running start to finish, but it's the athleticism. The athleticism, you cannot. I don't care if it's 4.6, for whatever. When you look at Trey Lance, when you look at even Trevor Lawrence, got more athleticism. And that's what it comes down to for me.
Athleticism. So not so much speed. You're looking for the jukes and the side to side.
I mean, even like a Matthew Stafford, once he started rolling, like he could get away from a defender a little bit. I'm not saying he was fast or whatever, but the athleticism wasn't there. But then you compare him to like a Justin Fields, the dude is out there as a running back.
I mean, that's a fair comparison because I just looked up Matthew Stafford's 40 time. What do you think Matthew Stafford's 40 time was?
Probably 4.8.
4.81.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you don't look at Matthew Stafford as a very mobile quarterback, then you can't look at Mac Jones as a very mobile
it's
quarterback.
It's all for that first step. When that pressure is applying and Matthew Stafford had to roll off of it, it's just the athleticism wasn't there.
The explosion. Aaron Rodgers, 4.7. Matt Ryan, 4.89. And then
you look at Aaron Rodgers, dude looks slow as hell on some of those runs.
I know. Then Kelvin Johnson, 4.35. Jesus.
And that height and that weight.
Here, let's look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 4.34.
Yeah, I'm about to say Lamar got to be in the 4.2, 4.3.
Yeah,
it's so crazy though
4.34.
when you think of 0.4 of a second. That's crazy how much different
And that is, I forget what movie it is when they're describing like the difference between 4-4 and 4-5, and they're showing like a linebacker closing on a play, and God, I wish I could remember what movie it was, but either way, it showed. Listen, if you were 4-4, you would have been in position to make that. But you're 4-5, so you're this far behind and you miss the arm tackle. Yep. And it's those milliseconds that make all the difference between getting that angle, getting in the proper position. So, yeah, as much as 40 times aren't necessarily the end-all, be-all, you want to make sure that these guys have the speed and the quickness to get to where they need to get to on the field. So, yeah, whether we like it or not, I mean, it's pretty much written on the wall, these top 3 picks.
I just don't agree with Mac Jones being that high. Not saying he can't be good.
Right.
If he turns out to be great, then, hey, 49ers when they made a hell of a gamble by trading up. But I just think that Mac Jones could have come to them at a later pick.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, the 49ers just risked so much to go get Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Like, this. Hey, 49ers can do what they want. John Lynch, I trust John Lynch. He's a smart GM. He knows what the hell he's doing. But I question this move. But this is what everybody's saying is going to happen, unless we discussed last week, San Francisco's like slow playing it. Oh, we want Mac Jones. We want Mac Jones. And then they take a Trey Lance just to kind of fool everybody.
I think something like that is going to happen.
You think so?
I'd be so disappointed in this draft if it didn't happen. I mean, let's be honest. I'm happy that Mac Jones is going early. Go ahead, take him off the board. You can have him. But it's just hearing it really does make me mad.
Right.
I'm like, how do you just jump from being a freaking 20th pick to all of a sudden the number 3 draft?
Team falls in love with you, and that's really all it takes is one team to like you. It doesn't matter if 31 teams in the league absolutely hate you. If you got one team that loves you and they're picking in the top 3, they're going to go get you. And that's it. That's really it. That's how these guys move up and down, and then it's a copycat league. It's like, wait a minute, the 49ers like him? What am I missing? Wait a minute. Okay, we want Mac Jones now. It's it's very like childish.
And it is once these combines start coming out too, it's like you really get to see it and then fall in love with these players. So I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we're talking about the best college football player no matter what if you're in the first round.
Well, we got picks 4 through 10 coming up, but first I want to tell you about our good friends at Hall Financial. When's the last time you checked your interest rate? If it's over 3%, which mine is, so I got to call Hall Financial, you just call them. Free 5-minute mortgage checkup and tell them Woodward Sports sent you, and they will hook you up with a great deal. Good people. It's really fast, too, efficient. It doesn't take a ton of time out of your day. Hall Financial is so fast, they'll do the heavy lifting, so you could go to davidhallmortgage.com right now to get started. That's davidhallmortgage.com right now to get started. Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for checking in on all social media today at Woodward Sports, dropping comments, letting us know what you think, who you think the Lions should be drafted at 7, and all types of interaction. We love that you're a part of the show, and we love that you downloaded our app too. Thank you to everybody who's downloaded our app. It's free now at the Apple or Google Play Store. Plus, give us a great review, a 5-star review, and it really helps push it up the map. So we appreciate everybody who's given us a great review, downloaded the app, and now you can take us with you anywhere you go.
You know we even got Google reviews now?
We do?
Google reviews.
Heck yeah, I love it. Are they good?
We need a couple.
Okay.
We need a couple more.
Yeah, if you got a Google, hop on over and give us a review. Let's get into the number 4 pick in Mel Kiper's mock draft 4.0. There was a trade. The Dolphins have moved back up to now take the Falcons' number 4 pick, and they will draft Kyle Pitts, tight end, out of Florida. And I don't see Kyle Pitts going past 4 regardless in this draft at this point.
Just like you don't see Mac Jones dropping past 3?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, San Francisco's pot committed now. Like they're all in on Mac Jones. They traded away so much to get that pick. But Kyle Pitts, to me, is the guy that, once again, just ascended up this draft board, and he's now considered the best non-quarterback in the draft.
He's the one that I fell most in love with in this draft after just not only the combine, just really starting to dive deep on this, because he was always a top probably 10 or so in this draft. But when you really start to watch him and how explosive he is, how fast he is, and just literally a wide receiver tight end. He's such a weapon.
I hate that. I hate the move.
You hate the move for who?
The Falcons. I wouldn't. I definitely would not trade out that number 4 pick. If I were the Falcons, I would stay right there, and I would take Justin Fields at number 4. Matt Ryan has not fallen off. Actually, he's actually, regardless of despite the 4-12 record last year, Matt Ryan played better than his 2019 season. He hasn't really dropped off per se as far as statistically. Anyway, he hasn't really dropped off, but he's going to be 36 years old going into this season. I believe right now with Justin Fields right there, that is the perfect time to draft his successor. Justin Fields can play under Matt Ryan for about maybe a year or two, maybe, who knows, maybe 3. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 seasons. He can play under Matt Ryan for a couple seasons, learn the offense, become more polished than he already is, and then you go ahead and let Matt Ryan fade off into the sunset. I think by trading back, you're going to have another year of the Falcons sucking. So if they're going to be the Falcons are going to suck, why not go ahead and draft your successor right now? Justin Fields, to me, he screams Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah, they do need a quarterback, and they're literally in the same position the Lions were in with Matthew Stafford, except we pulled the trigger. We traded away our franchise quarterback, and we got some assets for him. Looks like they're going to try to ride it out with Matt Ryan another year. I mean, obviously the biggest difference between the Matts is one's been to a Super Bowl and the other one didn't get his team there. But, you know, Matthew Ryan didn't get it done in the Super Bowl. They blew a huge-ass lead. So, I don't know. As an organization, Arthur Blank, we know is a good man, and I think he's hanging on to Matt Ryan a little too long, thinking about, oh, man, we were almost there with them, and we could probably get back with them if we just surround them with the right pieces. And, you know, you have Julio Jones, you have Calvin Ridley, you throw Kyle Pitts in there. Those are pretty good weapons, man.
And that's my thing. If you get a new quarterback right now, I don't think it's going to really change up. It's going to set you up in the future, but Matt Ryan's still playing at a pretty elite level when you look at his stats compared to his entire career.
Yeah.
So he's not really showing signs of slowing down.
He's not.
But he's old. I mean, let's face it. He's
only
there.
35, though. You look at some of these other quarterbacks.
He's going to be 36 to start the season.
Yeah, he's not Tom Brady. So,
No,
I mean,
for
35,
sure.
36 is ancient for an NFL quarterback.
Anyway, regardless of wherever the pick they go, I think that the spirit of that organization has been broken ever since they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots. They just,
As it should.
They're still getting ripped on in memes.
Yeah, they've never been able to recover.
Yeah, 28-3. Like, anytime that number appears anywhere, someone memes it and makes fun of them.
I love how that's more memeable now than even the Lions 0-16.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No one gives a shit.
No one cares anymore.
Well, it helps that Cleveland covered us up. Like,
Yep.
they had our back pretty good
Yep.
on that. So, yeah, that is the number 4 overall pick. After a trade with the Falcons, the Dolphins move up to select Kyle Pitts. Now on to number 5, which finally, this guy's actually making sense. With the number 5 pick in the NFL draft, the Bengals select Penny Sewell.
There are 2 things operating here, and I told Adam about this before we even start the show. That is who they should pick.
Yes.
That is not who I believe they're going to pick.
What?
I believe that they're going to go ahead and draft Jamar Chase.
Really?
I think that now. At first, I thought like, okay, they're going to go. I was liking Jamar Chase there. I said, okay, they're going to go ahead and reunite him with Burrow because he's familiar with them and everything like that. Then the Bengals went out and got Thaddeus Moss. Now I'm like, okay, they might go ahead and try to get that LSU reunion kicking for sure. Because here's the thing. Penei Sewell is the smart pick there. But one thing the Bengals have showed me is that they care more about what they think will sell tickets as opposed to winning games. They kept Marvin Lewis as coach for 15 seasons, 6 seasons longer than they should have as coach. So to me, I feel they just were more worried about selling tickets. I think they're going to go with Jamar Chase and try to sell that LSU trio.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but it's tough to sell tickets when Joe Burrow's dead.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's going to die if they don't take a lineman.
Again, I would take Penei. I think I think Mel Kiper hit it on the nose with that pick. I just don't think that's what the Bengals do because they're the Bengals.
Yeah.
But if they do the Jamar, though, are you going to be mad at that stick?
No, I don't give a shit what the Bengals do. I won't be mad at it, but if you don't protect your franchise quarterback, you're just stupid. I mean, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is if he doesn't have time to throw the ball. Like, we've seen it with Tom Brady, and we've seen it with Aaron Rodgers. When those guys are constantly under pressure, they're not the same Hall of Fame quarterbacks they are when they can sit back there, dink and dunk, and pick you apart. So you're not even giving Joe Burrow a real chance if you're not upping that offensive line. And, like, you already have weapons. You have T. Higgins. You have Tyler Boyd. You have Joe Mixon. You don't need another wide receiver to just make that wide receiver room crowded.
But it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
The Bungles.
Yeah, it is the Bengals, so they can do whatever the hell they want. I wouldn't be mad, but I think that is a smart pick right there. They got to shore up that offensive line and give Joe Burrow time. If they do that, then they get whatever wide receiver you want. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to number 6, the Falcons. They traded down with the Dolphins. Now, here you go. This is what you were saying the Falcons should have done at number 4, except they didn't go with the quarterback that you were thinking.
Yeah.
The Falcons at number 6 select Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State.
Not mad at it. I still think that a quarterback, so they need to go quarterback regardless in the draft. Whether they go at number 3 or number 6, they got to go quarterback. It's time to draft Matt Ryan's successor. It's just really that simple.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think, it depends on which quarterback you're falling in love with. Obviously, Justin Fields having another pro day today. People have fallen in love with Trey Lance. I feel like Trey Lance a month ago was going to be the number 2 quarterback off the board, but, things have changed since then, and now he's kind of dropped down to right where he should be, because he's an unknown prospect, really. He has the skills, he has the tools, but nobody really knows what this guy's going to do at the NFL level.
Because you're taking the most risk on this one, I feel like.
But you're also getting the most upside potentially, too.
Right.
So,
but you're giving up that high of a draft pick, so, I mean, at that point, you have the option to take some of these quarterbacks that people think are a sure success in the NFL.
Yep. So that's the Falcons' plan. Take a quarterback. I think, Corey, you nailed it. They should do that at 4 regardless.
And I also think that when you get whether they stand pat and get Fields or they trade down and they get Lance, both of those quarterbacks, again, I'm not trying to say they're Michael Vick. I'm not. I'm just saying they kind of have that they kind of carry that, like, mystique, swagger, like, hey, they're going to try to be the man. They're a mobile quarterback, and mobile quarterbacks work in Atlanta.
Yeah,
that kind of swagger.
So there you go, Falcons number 6, and now on to the Lions at number 7. The Lions select, who do you guys think in Mel Kiper's draft?
Jamar
Chase.
Not mad at it.
You guys are both correct.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU, and I'm not really mad at that either if that's the route the Lions want to go on. I mean, this guy was an absolute beast when he did play. Obviously, this last year wasn't, the year you want to judge him on, but damn, the guy's a monster.
I mean, I took some quick notes on him. A great route runner, really quick on his cuts. He shoots off the line of scrimmage with, he's explosive off of it. 4.38 in the 40 when it's vertical. I mean, he has the best change of direction of any wide receiver in the draft to me. He could be a game changer here with Jared Goff. The thing is, with Jared Goff here for the next 2 seasons, you got to get him weapons regardless. So I wouldn't be mad at that. I also wouldn't be mad if the Lions wouldn't defense and got a wide receiver in the second round, but Jamar Chase wouldn't make me mad. I would be behind it.
Here's what's interesting. Adam had the Lions taking Rashawn Slater over Penny. If he's still available at this spot, Adam, you're not taking him? If Chase is available, that's your number 1? Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Rashawn Slater going to be available at like 15.
Yeah, he's going to be there all day.
He might be there for a second-round pick.
No.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to see Adam's reaction.
Joey's just trying to piss Adam off
didn't give me any reaction.
Right. Only I can bring that out of Adam. I hope you guys know that by now. Jamar Chase, I'll take him. I mean, at LSU, he was a beast. You give Goff weapons. You've seen what he can do with weapons. And you've seen that Goff off-play action is the leading quarterback in the NFL the past 2 season percentage completion-wise. So you get him some good wide receivers. We love DeAndre Swift. You got T.J. Hawkinson starting to cook with fire.
Yeah. I will say this, though. If they do go defense, because Chase doesn't happen to be there, or they just happen to go defense in general. I mean, Terrace Marshall, Kadarius Toney, they're going to be available in the second round, so could probably go in those directions as far as a wideout.
Yeah, I'm kind of falling in love with Rashard Bateman, too.
Yeah.
I like Bateman a lot. I'm not sure where he's going to wind up in the draft, but I've been doing all my Dynasty fantasy stuff, and I got the number 10 overall pick in my Dynasty league this year, and once you get past the typical guys, your Najee Harris, your big 3 wide receivers, your Kyle Pitts, then you're kind of in that second tier range. So that's really who I've been focusing on researching because I don't have a shot at the big guys this year. And then there's like the St. Browns of the world, and there's some value there at wide receiver later on in the draft.
Because you gotta remember, Kenny Galladay was not a first-round pick.
Right.
So there's definitely talent in there.
Yeah. And so Lions looking to go Jamar Chase, number 7 out of LSU in Mel Kiper's mock draft 4.0. Let's move on to the Panthers. Obviously, they traded for their quarterback, so they don't need a quarterback. What do they need? I believe, Joey, you wanted the Lions to take this guy originally in our mock drafts. The Panthers select Devonta Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Now I want Justin Fields. That's my original pick.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But Devonta Smith, I've been back and forth on liking him. I got him above Jalen Waddle, 100,000,000%. But the argument between him and Jamar Chase has been one that I've went back and forth on. The more I watch Jamar Chase, I think he's a sure success in the NFL. But I still love this kid right here. I get it. He has a smaller frame. But, man, this guy is so explosive and just such a fun receiver to watch that I think it's going to be a steal, if that's what you're saying they're going right now.
The best part about any Devonta Smith highlight, you got Mac Jones throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to fall in love with Mac Jones. I can already see it happening. He's going to go to San Francisco and be the next Joe Montana.
You must love backup quarterbacks then.
You think he's going to be a backup? Because they still have – that's the crazy part. San Francisco will still have Jimmy G on the roster.
He's going to be like what's that quarterback that's like a permanent backup quarterback in the NFL right now?
Chase Daniels?
Like a Chase Daniel. like
a Fitzpatrick?
He's just going to be hopping around. He's going to be on – watch. By the end of his career, he's going to have been played on – double-digit teams.
Okay.
He's going to be on a double-digit team in his career.
Well, moving on, number 9, Denver Broncos select Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. And that's a good fit for the Broncos. They need help on defense. When the Broncos were successful, even though they did have Peyton Manning, Jesus, look at that
That's
tackle.
a nice read.
Yeah,
he got lucky on that read, though.
Even though they did have Peyton Manning, that Super Bowl that they won was predicated strictly on defense. Yeah, look how fast that guy can close.
Who are they playing in that game? What team is that?
I believe that looks like Memphis.
Oh, yeah. I think
But look at him. I mean, and he's blitzing from the other linebacker position. He's coming from the weak side and then going to the strong side.
It's the worst quarterback I've seen, though. What the hell did he just do
Look
on
at
that last play?
Ooh, Jesus, he had a game that game. He's a beast, man. What did he run, a 4.3 40?
Yeah, that's scary.
It is
That's
scary, man. And what's crazy is he's the first defensive player taken in the draft, and it's probably going to be at 9 or 10. Like, this is such a heavy offensive loaded draft. If you're sitting back and you're mid pack or late pack and you need defense, you're very happy the way this draft is playing out right now.
With the way it looks, like he could be the steal of the draft because it's not because he's not good. It's just because of the way it's playing out.
Right. Just think. I mean, if let's say Jacksonville already had their quarterback and everything situated, and they need to go linebacker, he could very easily be the number 1 overall pick. Very easily.
It doesn't happen like that anymore. I feel like it's always a more skilled offensive position, like a quarterback, a
it's
wide
year
receiver.
by year, honestly. It really is. The last 2 years have been quarterbacks, but sometimes it's offensive line, sometimes it's linebacker. It's year by year. All right, let's go. Number 10, the Patriots. They have moved up, traded with the Cowboys to select Justin Fields, Joey.
Okay.
And that is a scary, scary thing to think about. Set Justin Fields 1 year behind Cam Newton.
Let him learn from Cam. There's nobody better.
Ooh, look at that throw. Against Clemson, too. I know you like who they're throwing against.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, Justin Fields can make all the throws. We saw he's got the toughness, when he damn near broke his entire rib cage and came back and played. Good kid. The only knock on him is he's an Ohio State quarterback, which I don't think is fair.
They don't transcend into the NFL.
Right.
Hey, he can learn everything from Cam Newton. It's just hopefully he just doesn't pick up his taste in fashion.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Cam is the perfect person to learn from. Both are mobile QBs, both are big QBs, and Cam is a former NFL MVP, whether people like it or not. So who better to learn from?
Yeah, well, that is our number 10, or our top 10 Mel Kiper's mock draft 4.0. We've been sticking with the top 10 because once you get it down to like 20 and stuff, I don't think anybody really cares besides like the deep football heads. And we could talk about that anytime. But you know what? Top 10 is where we're focusing, especially because the Lions are picking number 7.